tonight's post-match press conference. We have head coach Pascal Jansen. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. We'll go starting with Mo, followed by Scott, then Mark.
Hi, Coach. Mohammed with the Exchange. Can we just get your feedback on the goalkeeper situation coming out of the box? We had a similar situation versus Orlando, and that goalkeeper just got a straight red. Ironically, it's two Canadian goalkeepers. Is it something with the...
Must be something in Canada.
Yeah.
A bigger 18-yard maybe? Maybe it's 20 yards in Canada. Can I ask you the question? You have the screens. We have the game itself. I looked up the big screen for a second. It's close, but I don't know what the TV said, but apparently the VAR said it was inside. We have to deal with that. It is what it is.
Stick with VAR, I guess.
Yeah, that's why it's in the game, and that's what we have to accept.
Scott?
Hey, Coach, how are you? Scott Schertzen, Streampunk Soccer.
Hi, Scott.
Tough loss today, granted, but one of the high points, obviously, is Agustina. Can you talk about his growth this season versus, say, last year and going forward? Thanks.
I think this game shows a glimpse of how much he's grown and still has to grow. His goal is phenomenal. From a game plan perspective, the execution was top in this moment. But overall, you see how Trapo has started this season. You can only be very happy for him and happy for the team, because when he raises this type of level, then we all benefit from it. So I hope he continues. He deserves the rest now for a couple of days, and then we'll focus and reset, getting ready for the next game again. His progression is something that I'm very proud of, but it's not finished.
Mark?
Hey, Coach. Mark Radigan, Hudson River Blue.
Hi, Mark.
Another big performance from Nico, especially from that set piece. We've seen Max Morales and Nico stand amongst those set pieces, and he's been the main set piece taker. But I'm curious just to hear what your thoughts on Nico's performance from today, and just how he's continuing to develop as the squad's number 9 through these first 5 games.
Yeah, well, I think the game today speaks for itself. You play against one of the best teams in the league, reigning champions, and if you see through this dead ball situation how he can bring us back into the game, because we had I would say a little nervous start, first 5-10 minutes, and then when Nico brings us back on the scoreboard like he did, that's a real statement of his quality and his personality. I see him obviously every day in training, working on these set pieces as well, so for me it doesn't come to a surprise. And then throughout the game you can see he gives them a big headache, how he plays and the spaces he finds, how they connect each other, Maxi and himself. In the run-up play going towards the second goal also, you see the quality is there. So he's making a true statement in the beginning of this season, and I hope he continues with that plan.
Christian, Justin, Matt.
Hey, Pascal, Christian with the New York Post back here.
Hi.
When we had talked on Friday, one thing you had mentioned was sort of the needing to learn lessons from last season and how this team can, in particular, really turn a game on a dime.
Right.
When it comes to going forward now against Inter Miami, and even just looking forward the rest of the season, what lesson do you take away from this match? And in particular, I guess, how do you, because it seems like this one played out a little bit similarly, where one mistake and it flipped on a dime. How do you, I guess, correct that? Is it a thing that the players have to do? Is it something tactically? What do you do to kind of address this ongoing issue in particular with this team?
I think it depends on which moment you define as a mistake, because as I said just now, the start of the game was a little nervous from our side. I don't know why, because that's not something that happens a lot in our games. But then again, coming back from a goal down that early the way we did, and then trying to get more control in the game, and especially in the second half, where we have more control of possession than we did in the first half, which was something that we said to each other during the break. And coming back from a goal down and going up 2-1, that is, in my opinion, a big statement in a game like this. However, that's why I said to you just now, what do you define as a mistake? Is that the second goal, which comes off Nico? Or is that the third goal? Because I said to my guys in the dressing room just now, if you give this guy 10 of these crosses and ask him to finish like he did, if he gets one on goal, I think we should be clapping our hands because it's a brilliant goal, obviously, so you have to respect that as well. Looking at the goal from our perspective, so to Kevin in that moment also, slightly off, just a few yards too much inside, so you can't make a physical contact in the challenge, which allows this guy to either determine to get it back in the middle or go for goal. And unfortunately, he did the last bit.
Justin?
Hey coach, Justin Nico in the outfield.
I just
This is the second straight home game where the away team controlled more possession than you. Is that a concern for you?
not at all.
Matt?
Hey coach, Matt Megmuth, River Blue. Of course, the last game before Miami before today, more one-sided scorelines today, a much closer game. So what do you think was different today that you guys were able to keep a closer scoreline and more even game with Miami? Thank you.
That's the interesting part. Looking at the games itself, you mean, playing against Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, obviously Miami has great players. They have a great team, but so do we. Every game has its own story. Something I mentioned going into this game as well. If you go back to game one, my first game in the MLS that we played in Miami, obviously they went down a man. We went up 2-1 like today, coming back from a goal down. But they still have the quality. And game 2 and 3 in the final, I mentioned today also the second game in City Field it was. I think it was very competitive for 60 to 65 minutes. We should have got ourselves on the scoreboard first in that game with 2 massive chances with Nico and Thiago. And then the details again make the difference because we go with a 1-0 down into the dressing room at halftime. The final itself, we get punished for one movement in behind by Allende, great finish, but we get back into the game just before the break. And then we're challenging them for the second goal. And obviously when they make the third in a game like that, yeah, that's tough when you know 2 goals down or 2 goals behind to come back from that in a game like we played in the final. But again, it was like 70 minutes in that final that we were very close to each other. And then always, as today, the details will make the difference. And unfortunately, today is a good reflection of that as well.
Thank you, everybody.